Each morning, the world begins again. The sun rises not only over cities and fields but within the human soul. Yet so many of us wake into a fog, a haze of dread, anxiety, or apathy. We reach for our phones before we reach for our thoughts. We check notifications before we check in with ourselves. But what if I told you? Your morning mindset is not just a habit, it's a mirror. It reflects not only how your day will go, but how your life will unfold. The way we rise is the way we build. So today, I invite you to look inward, not for productivity hacks, but for truth. Because to fix your morning mindset is not to chase success. It is to remember who you are before the world tells you who to be. Let's journey through 5 inner principles, 5 simple but profound awakenings that can transform your mornings, and through them, your life. Most people do not rise in the morning, they are yanked. Torn from sleep by shrill alarms, they awaken as if summoned to a crisis. Their day begins not with intention, but interruption. Eyes barely open, their hands reach reflexively for the phone, and within seconds, their inner world is overrun. News headlines shout, messages pull. The external world storms in before the internal self has even had a chance to speak. This is how many of us live, not by design, but by default. Not with presence, but in panic. Yet the first moments of the morning are sacred. They are a crossing, a liminal space between the unconscious and the conscious, between the dream world and waking life. In this tender threshold, your psyche is wide open, soft like clay, easily shaped. The emotions you allow in during these moments are not fleeting. They take root. Neuroscientific research from the University of California confirms this. The brain's emotional tone is disproportionately influenced by the first 10 minutes of waking. This is what they call the priming window, and like a canvas soaked in water, whatever touches it first leaves the deepest stain. So what would it mean to reclaim that moment? To rise not as if escaping a burning house, but as if returning. From a deep inner temple, a soft chime, the sound of rain or quiet instrumental music can become your invitation, not to jump, but to awaken. And once awake, instead of rushing to fill your mind with the world's noise, you sit. Just 2 minutes. In stillness, in breath, in the honest presence of your own being. This is not laziness. It is not a productivity trick. It is alignment. It is choosing to meet the day on your terms, not as prey to its demands. Like the ocean tide does not crash but rises, you allow yourself to ascend with steady grace. In those first 2 minutes of silence, you teach your mind that you are safe. You are not being hunted by time. You are sovereign. You are capable. You are home. There is a story of an artist who began each day with a ritual of silence and candlelight before he touched his brush. He said, "The world does not enter until I have returned to myself." What if every person treated their waking with the same reverence? What if we recognize that the way we rise sets the tone for everything that follows? Not just our schedule, but our soul. To wake with awareness is to say, I will not be dragged through this life. I will rise into it, gently, powerfully, with choice. And when you start your day with choice, you reclaim your freedom, not only for that morning, but for your entire life. The first thought of the day is not a simple mental flicker. It is a compass. It determines the direction of your emotional current and sets the coordinates for your decisions, your energy, and even your sense of identity. Yet most people do not claim that first thought for themselves. They surrender it. And what is not claimed by the self will inevitably be claimed by the world. News headlines, endless notifications, other people's opinions. They flood in like uninvited guests and begin shaping the architecture of your mind before you've even stood up from bed. And without knowing it, you are no longer living your life. You are reacting to it. But you are not made to be an echo. You are made to be an origin. When you rise each morning, you have a rare opportunity to To tell yourself who you are before the world tries to do it for you. To declare a truth not based in fear, but in choice. Not in memory, but in vision. Your first thought is the seed from which your inner landscape will grow, and if you do not sow it with care, you will harvest confusion, distraction, and fatigue. There was a woman named Amina, whose life had long been ruled by anxiety. Each morning she woke with a knot in her chest, already overwhelmed before her feet touched the floor. Her thoughts immediately turned to what could go wrong, to the tasks she wasn't ready for, to the expectations she couldn't meet. She was not awake. She was under siege. Her therapist suggested one simple practice. Before she touched her phone, before she opened her eyes fully, she should speak one sentence aloud. A sentence of her own choosing. At first it felt strange, but she persisted. I am here. I am safe. I am becoming stronger. That was her first sentence, and then another. I am not my fear. I am what I decide to become. After 3 months, her panic attacks had lessened dramatically. Her circumstances hadn't changed, but her relationship with herself had. She had reclaimed the first word, the first thought, the first breath of each day. This is not about magic. It is not about tricking your brain into blind optimism. It is about taking authorship of your consciousness. The mind is not neutral, it is fertile. Whatever is planted in it will grow, whether it is weeds of worry or seeds of strength. If you begin your day with a message of power, of clarity, of intention, then you water the parts of yourself that are ready to rise. You cannot always control what happens around you, but you can always decide what happens within you. And it begins not with a grand gesture, but with a quiet sentence, spoken into the silence of morning. A sentence that says, I am here, and I choose who I will be. You open your eyes, and the unseen hum of the world is already clawing for your attention. News banners, blinking icons, half-remembered messages from people you haven't met, and ads that know what you ate yesterday. This avalanche seems harmless, because it is ordinary, yet its weight is immense. It fills the delicate space that belongs to the deeper parts of you. What if, instead of surrendering that first fragile slice of awareness, you offered it to yourself? 5 unnegotiable minutes. No screen, no headline, only the quiet pulse of your own existence. Sit upright in the stillness and listen. The slight rustle of sheets, the understated rhythm of breath, the faint echo of last night's dream dissolving. Allow the body to report on the soul's hidden weather. Perhaps you will notice a subtle tension in your chest or a sudden flood of gratitude for nothing in particular. These sensations are not distractions from life. They are life announcing itself. Some keep a small notebook by the bed and simply write. 6 minutes of open, uncensored journaling. According to researchers cited in Harvard Business Review, this brief ritual increases the day's focus and emotional steadiness by nearly a quarter. It is not the quantity of minutes, but their depth that matters. In that white space of the page, internal whispers grow audible, the leftover fragments of a dream, an irrational worry that wants permission to speak, or a spark of inspiration so soft it would be crushed under the heel of urgency. Others find their center in a verse of scripture, a mantra, or a stretch that elongates the spine until the mind seems to stand taller too. These practices differ in form, yet share the same intent. Before consuming the outer world, commune with the inner one. A young software designer once described how she began each dawn by scrolling social media to catch up, only to feel strangely hollow an hour later. She experimented with 5 minutes of silent breathing instead, followed by making her bed with careful folds as if preparing a sanctuary. After a week, she noticed the office chatter felt less intrusive, the deadlines less suffocating. She said, "It's as though I carry a private room inside me, and I can return there whenever I need." The outer noise had not diminished, but its authority had. Understand this. You are not a database waiting to be filled. You are a living mystery waiting to be met. Presence is not a luxury reserved for monks. It is the prerequisite for any meaningful action you hope to take. When you grant yourself those first minutes of undivided connection, you do not lose productivity. You reclaim it, purified from distraction. The phone will still be there. The algorithm will still spin its bright nets. But you will greet them not as a slave desperate for stimulation. You will greet them as a sovereign spirit, already whole, already awake, deciding deliberately what is worth welcoming into the sacred precinct of your mind. There is an illusion that the mind is somehow separate from the body, as though thought and flesh live in different houses and speak different languages. But in truth, they are bound to each other in an ancient rhythm. Your thoughts, your feelings, your clarity of purpose, all are deeply tied to how you inhabit your physical form. When the body stagnates, the mind dulls. When the limbs are heavy and motionless, so too is your spirit. You do not need science to prove this. You feel it intuitively. On the days you do not move, everything within you seems to stand still. Worry builds. Ideas fade. The air around your soul feels tight. Yet, just the smallest act of movement can break that inner freeze. A 10-minute walk, not to burn calories, but to breathe with the earth. A stretch that opens the chest and says, "Here I am." A few push-ups, to remind you that you still carry power beneath your skin. The point is not perfection. It is presence. You move to remember yourself, to awaken what has been sleeping. There is a moment, often unnoticed, during the first few minutes of movement where the mind begins to shift. It could be during the second lap around the block, or when sweat first forms at your temples. You feel it, a loosening. A fog begins to lift. Thoughts that once felt tangled and tight begin to unravel. Ideas come uninvited. A certain kind of calm sets in that cannot be accessed from a chair. A study from Stanford supports this lived truth. Creative. Output increases by up to 60% while walking. Why? Because the body and mind are not in competition. They are collaborators. When one awakens, the other follows. You don't need a gym. You don't need the perfect routine or a digital fitness tracker to validate the movement. You only need to show up to yourself as you are and begin. There was once a boxer who became more than an athlete. He became a symbol of spirit. Muhammad Ali did not train in the morning simply for the sake of the body. He trained because the morning was when he claimed his essence. When the world was still, he made himself strong, not just in muscle, but in belief. His motion was his meditation. His movement was his mantra. There is a sacred intelligence in the body that we forget when we stay still for too long. It is not just a vessel. It is an instrument. And when it plays, the song it sends to the mind is clear and awakening. You are alive. That's what every step says, every breath taken mid-stride, every stretch toward the sky. Not you are busy, not you are productive, but you are here, fully, capably, awake. So let your day begin not in hesitation, but in motion, even a small one. The mind will follow. It always does. Each morning presents a quiet choice, though few recognize it. Before the rush, before the meetings, before the emails and the errands, there is a silent question lingering in the space between sleep and obligation. Will you begin your day from pressure or from purpose? Most people rise already burdened, scanning their to-do lists, chasing productivity like a moving target. They measure their value by how many boxes they can tick before nightfall. The day becomes a test of endurance rather than an expression of meaning. But the soul does not respond to pressure. It responds to direction, clear, anchored, and real. When we start our mornings with nothing but tasks, we begin in reaction, not creation. And so we are pulled by everything outside of us, losing touch with the part within that seeks something more than efficiency. But it only takes one pause, one breath, one question to change the orientation of an entire day. What is one thing that matters today? Not 10, Not even 5. Just one. One choice, one action, one conversation that aligns with the person you are becoming, not the person the world demands. There was once a corporate executive known for her decisiveness and performance, but behind her image of control, she felt adrift. Her days blurred into each other. Her accomplishments became empty victories. Everything she did was excellent, yet none of it felt hers. Then she began a simple practice. Each morning, before opening her laptop, she asked herself a question. How will I lead with courage today? Not, what do I need to get done? But, how do I want to show up? That one question grounded her in something deeper than deadlines. Her conversations changed. Her leadership softened and deepened, and so did the culture around her. One question, asked with sincerity, changed more than her calendar. It changed her. Purpose is not something grand that waits for perfect timing. It is not reserved for poets, saints, or CEOs. Purpose is found in the small, quiet choices that no one sees but you. Even the most mundane task, when done with intention, becomes meaningful. Making breakfast for your children, replying to an email with empathy, showing up on time, not to prove your discipline, but to honor your word. These things, when done from the inside out, become sacred. The day is not something to endure. It is something to shape. And you are not here to simply survive the hours. You are here to imbue them with life, with direction, with intention. There is a vast difference between living from pressure and living with purpose. One constricts. The other expands. One demands more, the other reveals more. So choose. Not what the world expects of you, but what your own inner truth invites you toward. One action, one question, one moment of alignment. That is enough to turn an ordinary morning into the beginning of a meaningful life. To fix your morning mindset is not to become someone new. It is to return to yourself. Each dawn is a doorway. You can walk through it asleep or awake, numb or alive, lost in the noise or anchored in truth. So tomorrow, when your eyes open, ask not what the world demands of you, but what your soul whispers. Listen closely. In that whisper lies your revolution, because when you win your morning, you don't just change your day, you change your life.